Okay. There you go. There you are. See?
That smile may break the internet.
It's true. It's true. I just have to move this. You'll see me do it in just a second. Okay. Then I'm going to come over to this one and make sure it's working. Grandpa, would you like
Vamp
to
till ready. I have to vamp till ready. If you don't know what
you
that
just
expression means.
It's just your nature that you just go silent.
Yeah.
And no, Days. Leave it, baby. Leave it.
Oh boy.
Leave it, please.
Busy hands.
Busy
hands. Yeah, I do go silent because I'm waiting for a official start, like a race car driver.
Is that what you are?
No.
I know when I think of you, Daddy, first thing that comes to my mind, race car driver.
Race car driver, no. But in vaudeville, the expression, I guess that's where it came from, vamp till ready, was saying to the piano player that a vamp is kind of an introduction musically. That would be a vamp.
A vamp.
And it's a bad impression of a vamp. But it means just fill the space with something until the performer is ready to start or until the orchestra is ready to start.
Yeah. We're not working on the Twitter. We're not coming up on the tweets.
It doesn't...
I know, I can see it here. We're not coming up.
It doesn't like you not calling it by its proper new name.
X. I refuse.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Days? What are you doing, Days?
This, if you don't know, and if you haven't met her before or seen her before, this is Daisy Hadfield.
Your X account is required to have premium X to go live. That's new.
Oh, wow.
Good grief. No, Days.
Oh, Elon.
Premium. That is too ridiculous. They're always finding something. Daisy, my love, you can't touch it. Oh, it starts at $11 if you want that. Listen, the Twitter.
Here's my $11.
Yeah.
Good grief. Here's my 11 hard-earned
Here's my $11, Elon. Let's talk about it.
You rogue.
Good grief. Oh, with an annual plan, you can do $9.58 a week.
Wow.
Well, Kevin says hello and hello to you. Sorry, I read your excellent review of Made in England, the films of Powell and Pressburger. Do you have a favorite film from them?
Can't pick one. I can't pick one. As somebody said just the other day, it's the one I've seen most recently. Whichever one I've seen most recently becomes my favorite. So if I've seen The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, then that's it. With Roger Livesey and that extraordinary voice of his. And Deborah Carr. If you don't know what we're talking about, there's a new documentary called Made in England, produced and hosted by Martin Scorsese. And it's a tribute to the films and the work of Michael Powell and Everett Pressburger, who are perhaps best known for the movie The Red Shoes, which everybody predicted would be a colossal failure and instead turned out to be a massive success. They walked that tightrope for almost 20 years together before parting amicably. And then Michael Powell, in later years, was a mentor and friend to Martin Scorsese. So he speaks about him as well as his movies. Talks about how much he was influenced by Michael Powell, and who wound up marrying Thelma Schoonmaker.
Because it all comes together.
Scorsese's longtime, one might almost say lifelong, film editor to this day. So this new documentary is called Made in England. It's going to open theatrically. I think it opened yesterday in New York, and it's going to open here in LA at the New Art. The end of the month. And in my review, which you can find at leonardmaltin.com, we have a link to the trailer, I think, and where you can find out more about how and where to see it.
All of the things. Whoa!
How and where and why to see it.
Do you see? You can go watch Bluey. It's right here. It's right here. You can watch Bluey right here.
Oh, boy.
Eh? She's like, maybe I'll watch Bluey and maybe I won't. Maybe I'll come back over and knock your screen over. Yeah, you will. Arthur, I know you were having issues with Facebook the other day. Facebook is working for people. Oh man, I am a mess and I apologize. We have not.
Never apologize.
This is the most mom look I could possibly have right now, where I like haven't slept. My hair's a mess. Just doing our very best, right, Daddy?
That's all we can do. We're muddling along.
That's us, muddling. Sorry, Arthur, you were having issues with Facebook the other day. Facebook is working for folks, so I don't know why it's not working for you. Maybe close and open it again. Try something like that. I don't know. Yes, Larry, the British show Trying is good. I like it a lot. I think it's a solid one. Yes, Michael, my husband is watching the game right now. If you don't know, my husband is English. He's from Manchester, and he is currently watching the football game.
And not watching Daisy.
He's currently watching the football game where England is playing Spain in Germany. And this is the big deal because what England is always hoping that one day the cup's going to come home. Thus far, cup not coming home. But maybe, we never know. I asked him last night, I said, you think they're going to win? And he looked at me and he went, but they made it this far. So you never know. It could happen. Fingers crossed for all of our Brits out there. Yes, Lynn, it is just motherhood. My Lord. And it has been 1 billion degrees here. So taking the kids out to play and you're like sweating and dying and your kids are just like, this is great. Like, oh, to be young again.
We're grateful that it's only in the 80s now.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I think it's 90 today or something like that, which is brisk by comparison.
It was well in the 90s earlier this week. Boo-hoo. I know a lot of the country is suffering.
Melting. A friend of ours had to go to a family wedding in Arizona yesterday. They decided to have it outdoors. It's 113. I don't know why they hate themselves, but they do. No, have not watched the Faye Dunaway documentary yet. Did you watch last night?
Last night.
Hey, how was it?
I could have watched it a week ago. They sent me in advance.
But you forgot.
But
too many other things.
Yeah, ran out of time. Anyway, yes, it's very good. It's very good and very interesting. It's a profile of her.
Yeah.
And pretty much open about her peccadillos,
Mm-hmm.
her intelligence.
Yeah.
Her great intelligence. I was very impressed with her and how well spoken she was.
Yeah.
I've met her on a couple of occasions, but never had a meaningful conversation except on a panel one time.
Yes, Daisy.
But
Come on, downstairs.
No, she's not going to go. You got to just hang out here.
I'm on the lazy.
Sorry, Grandma. Got to just hang out here. Josh, did you watch? Josh was going to watch it last night. Did you watch it, honey? Did you like it? Oh, Daisy. Oh, Daisy. It's balancing. Whoop. Oh, God. Here we go. Hello again. Hi. Yeah. Oh, got sunglasses. Yeah, I'm really interested to watch it. I've seen you and I've met her a handful of times, seen you interview her before. I think that the only way you can have been in this industry for so long is to have one hell of a tough show. And to be a woman in this industry, in the time that she's been a woman in this industry,
she came into it in the late 60s.
Yeah.
Mid to late 60s.
Yes, Daisy's getting huge. You're right. Yes, she's an absolutely massive small human being. But yeah, it's so Josh has cool Faye film history, Mommy Dearest section worth it. Yeah. I love that movie. It's insane. If you've never seen Mommy Dearest, it's just
the passage on
insane.
The passage about it in the doc, just as Josh says, is worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
But
I was explaining. A friend of mine has not seen it before, and I told her, "Shoot, we have to watch it. Like we have when the kids are not paying attention, we have to put it on." There's a scene where she's on the floor, pointing out that while the floor has been mopped, they didn't move the plant. 1 second. They didn't move the plant to get the dirt under the plant, and she moves the plant, and she's scrubbing it by herself.
Yep.
Faye Dunaway. is scrubbing it, and she goes, "I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the dirt." And it's just something that I now yell. Yes, Tina, bring me the axe. Exactly. There's so many things you can yell. Days. Can you put that down?
Oh no, don't.
Daisy, can you put that down, please? Thanks, honey. Grandma's just in the bathroom. She'll be here in 1 second. Did you give Mommy Dearest a bomb in the book?
I don't remember.
Oh, hell. She's trying to climb on Grandpa. Oh, guys, having a toddler, let me tell you. Do you want to climb on Grandpa? You can if you want. I move this over. 1 sec, baby. Mommy. Well, the thing is with Mommy Dearest, there's a reason it's a cult classic. Like, it's insane, you know? I don't know if it's good or bad. It's just It's just nuts.
At one point, I don't want to give away anything from the documentary, which was done by Laurent Bozarou, who was...
Say that 5 times fast.
Laurent Bozarou.
Bozarou. Why'd you turn the light off?
I didn't think you needed the light. You need the light?
I mean, that's why it was on, yeah.
Okay, I'll put it on.
Alice has entered the room to try and wrangle the Daisy.
Well, look at the difference. The difference is...
Daisy,
there is a difference, though. There is a difference. It's lighter.
Do you want to come here? Do you want to go upstairs and watch Bluey? Yeah. Watch Mickey Mouse?
No, she's going to stay here. You're going to just sit.
Yeah, the gossip hounds will be disappointed because there's not a lot of dirt. And
but you know, I think as I say, to have survived this industry as long as she has, to have dealt with all the craziness of it, I think that, you know, you just do the best you can do. And I also think it has to be really hard. I've talked about this before, but I can't imagine aging on screen. You know, I mean, you've done it. It's weird. And you're not hired for your looks, you know?
Says you.
Well, that's true. But I mean, what I can't imagine is if you're someone, like I've talked about Warren Beatty before, right? Well, here's Warren Beatty. When he was young.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
My mom's opening a very loud container. Mommy Dearest is 2.5 stars in the book. Thanks, Kevin. See, he has a book handy. You know, normally we have books handy, but because of Daisy, everything is moved everywhere, so we don't know where anything is.
Don't blame a 2.5-year-old for your problems.
It's your book. You should know where it is.
I should.
Ooh, got nothing on that one. Anyway, can you imagine being Warren Beatty and, you know, you are beautiful, and that's part of what everyone talks about with you. You're charming. You're known for wooing every woman on the face of the planet. And then you're getting older. Now, I think he looks pretty damn good. You know, I think he's aged well and he's handsome as ever. But it's an interesting thing. You know, it has to be very strange to age. Now, take being a woman. You're Faye Dunaway. You're gorgeous. And then you're getting older. You know,
you're not just gorgeous, you're a style icon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this is how people talk about you. And I think that it's just such a tricky, I think it has to be really hard to be beautiful like that, to be viewed in such a way. And then to find yourself getting older and having people no longer cast you as an ingenue, you know, in many cases, no longer cast you as a lead. You know, I just think it's a lot. I think it's a lot to go through. And I think surviving it's not easy.
Daisy. Thank you.
It's just going to be one of those afternoons, folks. So yeah, Mama, did you like the documentary too? Did you like the Faye Dunaway doc?
I thought it was very interesting. I mean, I have my own feelings about her, so it's a little hard.
What are your feelings about her?
Well, I remember dealing with her. She's very difficult.
Well, yeah, she's extremely difficult. Yeah. That's what I mean.
Well,
you know,
more importantly, where are the cookies?
You had the cookies. Did she take them?
Took the cookies.
The kid took the cookies.
The film opens. It's not a spoiler. The documentary opens with a collage of her about to be interviewed for the documentary, where you see her being petulant and demanding.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that lays it out for you right there.
Yeah.
It lays it out for you right in front.
When my dad interviewed Norman Jewison, so it was Norman Jewison, Cher, Faye Dunaway, and who else?
Eva Marie Saint and Carl Reiner.
There, yes.
And the Bergmans, I think.
Yeah. The funniest part of that was both Cher and Faye Dunaway had these massive hats because the light was not good. This was at LACMA, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. And they both had on these just absolutely massive hats. And I couldn't stop laughing because both of them were like, this light is too harsh. My face is not ready. I was dying. It was so funny. But yeah, that was an experience. Yes, Frank, I could also hear the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme in the background. That very much feels like that on a regular basis here. Yes, we talked about the Gene Wilder doc before. Both my parents really, really liked it. Yeah. I've not gotten to see it yet.
I never interviewed Shelley Duvall, but I did a set visit to a remake of Dinner at 8 that she produced for what was then TNT. They were doing some original movies for the first incarnation of TNT before TCM existed.
Mm-hmm.
And she gathered an impressive cast led by Lauren Bacall, playing the Marie Dressler part. Anyway, and Roddy McDowall visited the set to take pictures that day.
Wow. Is that what that photo's from?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember what that was from. My dad we have a picture, a framed photo. No,
different day.
Okay, well, that's why I was asking if it was that day. It wasn't that day.
Well, it's not that picture.
No.
I have a great picture that I took of Roddy.
Okay.
And Lauren Bacall that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. That day. Anyway, she was very nice.
Yes, Nick. This has been a week. This has been a week. Am I right? Obviously, Shelley Duvall, it's really sad. The only sort of solace, I think, at this point is that she had in recent years found help. If you don't know, so Shelley Duvall passed away. She had a lot of mental issues, unfortunately, that then became also health issues. And finally, it seems she was being taken care of properly. And so at least that. But it's sad. It's sad to see somebody, especially someone who we all really enjoyed watching for so many years. You know, it's very hard. So
I was a huge Robert Altman fan, and he, for want of a better word, discovered her and used her really well in a number of films. I can't count how many Altman films she's in, and the one that people don't mention is Thieves Like Us. She and Keith Carradine. It's a remake of that other film. Brain is a tricky thing.
Yeah.
The retrieval process of getting stuff out of the brain.
Well, you can't be president.
They Live by Night. It's a remake of Nicholas Ray's They Live by Night. And it's a very good film. The two films coexist side by side very well because they're different enough. But she's great in that. She's great in Three Women, a film almost nobody saw when it was new. So barely known today.
Don't do that.
And then, yes, Martin Mull died. I don't know if it was this week or last week. Martin Mull passed away, which is so sad. That obviously Richard Simmons just passed away. And you want help? How can I help you? Help Daisy? How can I help Daisy? Come here. Okay.
All right. Here's out of the blue.
Wait, no, somebody else was asking about Dr. Ruth as well, because Dr. Ruth passed away yesterday.
Yep.
And how...
No, Daisy. I would like to start a phrase without the word no or don't.
Paying attention to me. What should I do? Come here.
Alice is throwing a fit on the couch. Alice is throwing a fit on the couch.
Daisy, let go.
You let go.
All right.
I've got water in the kid. Yes. So yes, seeing Richard Simmons pass away, and then seeing that Dr. Ruth passed away when she's someone who was, I think really beloved. One of the things that my mom mentioned was that her family put her on a
train to Switzerland, and she was part of Kinder transport.
She got out. She got out before the Holocaust. Her family made sure. Days, if you want your water, can you go get Dee Dee water?
Yeah.
Can you go find some Dee Dee water, please?
Yeah.
Thanks, baby. so it was something that, like, her history was amazing, really, Dr. Ruth. And she was just an incredible woman. Yeah, and then this morning, Shannon Doherty passed away after all these years fighting with cancer. Finally,
2015.
yeah, she's been fighting cancer for a very long time. It's just a lot. It's a lot all at once. And then obviously yesterday with Trump being, she said she wants you to help her find Daisy water. She wants you to help her find one of her glasses to have her water. That's what she's saying. I translate. Somebody's. Did you ever interview Richard Simmons? Did you?
No, better. I shared a flight
Ha!
to, I believe, Portland, Oregon. It wasn't a long flight.
Yeah.
With Richard Simmons, who was working the plane.
Come on, let's get water.
It was not a jumbo jet, so
That's so funny.
Mid-sized plane, and I was reading a book. I think I may have had my headset on as well.
Yeah.
And he was just amazed that I was completely focused on my book from start to finish of the flight, whereas he was flying even when we were on the ground. But it was it was just so funny. He could not conceive of being on a plane and shutting everything out except this book.
He just, yeah.
He was one of a kind.
He was. I say, and so was Dr. Ruth in a lot of ways. And she was someone.
Yes.
I think what was amazing about her is that she was so warm and so friendly that when she was talking about different subjects, it didn't feel dirty or wrong. It just felt.
That was her appeal. Her appeal was she disarmed you completely.
Yeah.
Here's this grandma.
Yeah.
This friendly, knowledgeable grandma that you couldn't help but love. You couldn't help but respect.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about things that people often didn't discuss in polite company.
Yeah. Man, oh man. But yeah, so there's a lot of loss. And then as I said yesterday with the Trump's ear getting shot and then 2 people died. So it's been a week. It has been a week.
Quite a week. And no, I've not yet seen Horizon. Alice and I were going to go to see it early this past week at maybe a matinee or late. They couldn't get that many showings.
Yeah.
3 hours long.
Yeah.
3 hours and 1 minute long. But that minute matters.
That minute made a difference. Yeah.
And but frankly, it was so incredibly hot outside.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of want to do anything.
When you open the front door, and like
that wave of
yuck. A wall of ugly heat hits you.
My dad missed a couple of screenings this week because he just went, I just don't want to go outside. And I said, you know what? It's okay.
Even just getting in the car, the air-conditioned car, to go to the air-conditioned movie theater.
It's just yucky.
Yeah.
It's just yucky. They canceled the second film's theatrical release.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is not
shocking.
When you're looking at something like this, a movie... Westerns in general are not going to be big hits because it's just not a genre most people are familiar with anymore.
Right.
But that's
Yellowstone had such a following.
But it's so you've had, for years, people didn't make Westerns, or if they did, they'd be really little ones, an indie one here or there. Then you have these shows that have come on, like Yellowstone, and even I've just names, the one that Evan Rachel Wood, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
One of you is going to answer it before I can.
But this has been true for 20 years. Westerns perform very well on cable TV. The ones that they made, the Louis L'Amour Westerns that they turned into miniseries and one-shot movies for...
Westworld.
Yeah.
Sorry. Colin got Westworld at the same time. So I'm saying, so you've got a show like Westworld that has, this. So I think that people have been going, well, if there was ever a time to reintroduce Westerns, it's now,
Yeah.
If there's ever a chance that people might actually go try this, it's now. And so I don't blame him. And this is a passion project. I mean, he paid for it himself. Why not? Make what you want to make.
Yeah.
Make what you want to make. But I think at the same time, it is hard because now it's hard enough to get people to go to the theater in general. Because so many of us we don't necessarily want to watch stuff anymore. in a theater. Obviously, you know, whether it's in my case, I have a kid, so I can't really go to the movies right now. Or for you, it's just so damn hot during the week. It's hard to want to go out. It's difficult. It's a tougher sell. So I think that we'll see what ends up happening with all of those, with the films he's going to make. They can say now that they canceled the second film's theatrical release. Nobody knows. It's so far away. You're just guessing. And anybody who sort of says, well, this is what we're going to, you know, this is what's going to happen. Nobody knows. Everything shifts, and they can change their minds. He can buy a theater. He can buy out a theater. You know, if he wants to,
he can four-wall it.
He can four-wall, you know, and he can choose a theater and show it there. So yeah, you just never know. I have some friends who've seen it and really liked it. I have friends who saw it and thought it was terrible. So that's a movie for you, right? You know, it's going to be a little bit of everything sometimes. I'm trying to think of what else you've watched.
Well, we watched a very good documentary that's going to get a theatrical opening, I believe this week, or starting this week, called Modernism, Inc., I-N-C, period. And it's about a man named Elliot Noyes, N-O-Y-E-S, Elliot Noyes, who was one of the fathers of modern design. In 1939, he was appointed curator of the Museum of Modern Art's Industrial Design division. They recognized that industrial design was an art. It ought to be respected, and spotlighted. And that was a radical idea. Everything got interrupted by World War II, and he served in the war. He served as a glider pilot, and he was part of an Air Force division that was promoting the use of glider planes, and they go into it's so interesting. I had a hard time convincing your mom to watch it, and then she got taken in by it.
Yeah. Well, as we know, if something's good, it's good, even if it's a topic that you didn't expect to be interested in. I started watching there's a handful of new limited series about the sort of child torture industry, the people who are supposed to help your kids. If you have a kid that's wild, you send them away to this school, this camp, and then they scare them straight, except that they're just absolutely nightmarish. So I watched a couple of, there's 2 different series, and I watched a couple of them, and woof. Sometimes you can watch something, and other times, like, because I already know this topic and I've seen documentaries on it before. There's another good one that I watched the other day also about this topic, but it was more personal because it was one woman gathering other people who also went to this school that she had to go to. And that was fascinating because again, it's a personal account,
right?
And she's walking you through all of the things.
Paris Hilton talked out about it.
Well, this is the new one. And she's in this new series that just that just started playing on Netflix. Good morning from Sydney, Australia. Hello in beautiful Sydney, Australia. So yeah, it's just it's a difficult topic, but also not necessarily something you want to sit with. I'm curious to know of your thoughts of the new Kevin. So we were just right before you joined us, Film Nut. We just talked about Horizon. We just finished talking about it, and we were basically just saying, I'm going to give you more Bluey. Even though I have it in my hand, Mom. I'm doing it. Even though it's a difficult situation for Kevin, he's made the movies he wants to make. He's doing what he wants to do. Good on him. You know, that's the point. Make what you want to make. And in terms of, they're now saying they're not going to release chapter 2. Nobody really knows what's going to happen realistically.
Because theaters are begging for films.
Yeah. So
theater owners are saying to all the distributors.
Yeah.
And saying to the world.
Yeah.
Give us more movies to show.
They didn't say they weren't going to release it.
No, Mom.
I thought they said that they just weren't scheduling it.
I don't know who that woman is, but
I don't know.
Normally, we don't have a studio audience.
It's true. This is a studio audience day.
First-time sitter.
Yeah, first-time sitter, long-time watcher, first-time sitter. No, Mama, they're saying that they canceled the in-theater release of the next one of 2. I'm saying that really they can say that now, but nobody really knows anything, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Do you think Pauly Shore will continue making his movie about Richard Simmons, but do it as a tribute to him? Probably.
Don't know.
Probably. It would make sense.
I'm
Such a
uninformed.
He's such a cartoon character. You know, he really became cartoonish, but not in a bad way. It's just that's him, and he knew that. You know, that's his whole thing. Don't anger the babysitter, right, Lynn? Yeah. Well, what I tease my mom is that my mom doesn't usually listen to the entire sentence, and so you have to just sometimes go back, hit the little rewind button, and go back for a second and start again. Doug is saying, is the Elliot Noyes story available on streaming?
It's from First Run Features. That's the distributor.
Let's look. What's the name of the film again?
Modernism Inc.
Okay.
That's not a good title either.
Well, it's about the fact that he became a corporate
It's more interesting
designer.
than that title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Let's see.
He worked for IBM. He worked for Mobile. But he didn't believe, his motto was good design is good business.
Yeah.
And it was true. At one time, it was true. It's still true. Apple, look at Apple.
I don't know where you can watch it. It was released. So it says its release date was October 14th of last year.
That's when it was first shown.
But I don't know where it's actually playing or existing.
Hang on.
Let's see. It's streaming anywhere?
We're about to post a review of it.
We are? That's exciting for us.
I'm about to write that review that you're about to post.
I can't wait to post that review you haven't written that I'm going to post. Yeah, it doesn't really say. I don't know. That's a tricky one and annoying.
It's a hard sell.
Keep an eye out.
Yeah. It's hard to keep track of this is part of the problem, is keeping track of these movies and where they end up living. You know, it's tricky. We haven't seen Maxine, and I don't think you saw the other 2 that go with Maxine.
No.
He's not much of a horror guy.
No. Not at all.
Not at all.
Except if it's gothic horror.
Well, no. We like suspense.
Right. And
we can do suspense and thriller.
I like ghost stories.
Yeah. And he likes ghosts. Leonard Maltin likes ghosts. That's the next t-shirt I'm going to make for him.
Well,
Leonard Maltin likes ghosts. Hi, Leonard and Jesse. Hello. Leonard, I love it when you did some of the special features for the Looney Tunes Golden Collection DVDs and Platinum Blu-rays.
Well, that was fun to do.
Have you checked out the recent Looney Tunes Collector's Choice Blu-ray release from Warner Archive?
Yes. They're great. They're great because they have put out on, first off, they're all restored and they look wonderful. And they incorporate cartoons that haven't been released before. Now, that doesn't mean they're great cartoons, just that they're either rare or unusual. So that's why it's called Collector's Choice, because it's kind of a niche market that they are aiming these at. To end a sentence with a preposition.
Doug says Seth Meyers had a joke that Hulu, Disney, and Paramount are going to merge their streaming services. The new one will be called TV. That's what it feels like. I've said this from the beginning. That's what it feels like, is that, so you start, okay, we're all doing streaming services. Everyone's cutting cable. Who needs cable? We never cut cable. We like cable. We're getting rid of cable. Nobody needs cable. Everybody hates cable. Okay, we're all going to have, every single one of us, we're all going to have our own streaming service. Oh, crap. No one can keep track of all the streaming services. We're going to merge them. And now when you turn on Disney, you also get 6 other things, but you could also have that app separately. But for some reason, a show that's on Max is also in this, but is also there, there, and there. Now we're merging even more. Put them all together. So you're creating a network that people used to get in one place. But now we have to look at 15 of them. I don't get it. I really don't get it. It made sense when there was Netflix and Hulu and that was about it. You know, when there was like two or 3. And now everybody has a streaming service. Every channel has an app, all of this. And I don't understand. I don't understand. It's just weird to me. It's all just weird to me. Bluey. Sorry. I think probably the two things that are on the most, Jerry was saying that he loves just sitting with TCM on, and that's what makes him happy. I mean, that's for the most part, my parents upstairs have that. We downstairs mostly have Disney Plus on, watching something. And, if it ain't broke, like that's the thing. I don't know many parents who don't have Disney Plus because there's so much on there for your kids.
Yeah.
And I love that Daisy can watch classic Mickey Mouse. She also watches some of the newer stuff, which is fine. The animation's not as good, but she's fallen in love with all of them. So that's all I really care about, So yeah, we've talked about how much we love Bluey. I love Bluey. I think that it is such a clever show. It's funny. It's intelligent. We all really like watching it.
Yeah.
Like we have fun watching it.
It's clever. It leaves you with something.
Yeah.
The takeaway.
Yeah. And I think that that's so important. Does Daisy like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers? She hasn't watched much. She loves the characters. I have some little stuffed Chip and Dales, and she loves those, but she hasn't watched much of it yet. So I don't, I'm sure she'll like it. Who doesn't love Rescue Rangers? It was so much fun. Da up. Da up. Wow. Why are you wet?
The apple.
Why are you all wet? And any thoughts as to why you're all wet? She's holding it in her hands. She's holding it in her hands. Did you see Sing Sing and Fly Me to the Moon?
No.
Saw that coming.
Yeah.
Saw that one coming. Me TV Tunes just launched. Days, don't kick that. Me TV Tunes just launched, which now airs a ton of the classic cartoons. Sadly, it's not on DirecTV yet, but it is on some streaming channel services. Yes, it is.
It's also available if you buy a cheap
don't kick that.
TV antenna.
Pretty please don't kick that, Daisy. Please.
Like Antenna TV and other services that are not digital. It is available for free. If you go to, can't go to Radio Shack anymore.
Go to your local store.
Yeah. Probably you have to go online to where and spend $14.95 and buy an antenna, an old-fashioned antenna, rabbit ear antenna. Whoops.
It's fine. She's alive. It's all that matters. You got to try. Oh yeah. Tailspin, Darkwing Duck. I love all that stuff. Well, it's funny. We're actually going to be interviewing Jim Cummings very soon for the podcast. I'm trying to book the date with him. I've been trying to have Jim on our show for such a long time. Let me tell you. And finally, it's going to happen very soon. And I am very excited. Normally, I don't talk about things ahead of time because I don't believe anything until it happens. But I am determined with this one.
Daisy, bring it over here.
Hey, that went well, all things considered.
Yes, it did.
I didn't think that would work that way.
No, she got it all the way down.
There's the plot and there's the subplot.
My family is the subplot.
Yeah.
I just heard that you will be at D23, the Ultimate Fan Event, on August 9th and 10th. I hope to see you there. We will be there the whole weekend. They have not yet announced a lot of the hosts for the panels, the different panels that are going on. So I don't know what we're allowed to say.
I would think we're not allowed to say anything yet.
Yeah. So.
Or would be discouraged from talking about it now.
I was just talking to.
We're not trying to be coy, just trying to be.
Never been coy a day in my life. I was just speaking to our friend who helps program everything, and I asked him that. I said, when are we allowed to start talking about it? And he said, we're going to have a call this week. So hopefully I'll be able to tell you very soon what we are hosting. But we have events happening on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think the only the ones that you've seen that are announced is we're doing the meet and greets, which is you can come meet him. I'm just there, but you can come meet him and get a picture with him and get an autograph, and that's happening Friday and Saturday. My mother in the background going, I don't want to meet him. But yeah, D23 is a lot of fun. It's absolute chaos, but it's a blast, and we very much look forward to it.
Yes, we do.
Always. How old is Jim Cummings? I don't know. You'd have to look it up. I enjoy your Michael Westmore interview. Thank you so much. That was so much fun. If you're not aware, my dad and I have a podcast together called Maltin on Movies. We've been doing it for 8 years. Holy crap. A while. And feel very, very, very lucky to have had the people we've had. Carol Burnett, her people do not like to let her do very many interviews. I've tried for Carol Burnett many times, and they don't let her do a lot of interviews, which is very annoying. But maybe one day a girl can dream. But yeah, we just interviewed Michael Westmore, who is fascinating. The Westmore family is fascinating. He's fascinating. So
that
many,
history that
mind blowing
is unique.
Yeah.
You don't modify the word unique.
No.
It is unique, one of a kind.
Yeah.
In Hollywood history.
Yeah.
And it's ongoing.
Yeah. We have another Australian joining us. Hello, Leonard and Jesse from Australia. Hello, Jimmy. Since Daisy loves the classic Disney characters, are you planning to introduce her to your dad's Disney treasures? Absolutely.
Although I can tell her these things in person.
Yeah, right.
So.
She loves all of she loves the Fab Five. She loves Minnie and Mickey and Pluto and Goofy and Donald and Daisy, of course. And that thrills me. That thrills me so much.
Yeah.
Because seeing that these characters, without real effort, are still so beloved.
There's no explanation required.
No. You know, we go to the park all the time. We go to playgrounds and stuff, and I see kids wearing Minnie and Mickey and all the others, and I just think, God, as much as I see kids wearing Spider-Man, I see kids wearing Mickey Mouse, and I just think, isn't that amazing? That after all these years, it's just as good as it's always been, and kids can still love it. And I just think that's so incredibly special that kids are still connecting the way that we would hope they would connect. You know, they're still connecting the way that we would hope they would, that they still see these characters. They see Mickey Mouse and they love him. You know, I just think it tells you why Disney is Disney.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it still has this effect. As I say, we didn't force any of it on her. It's not like it was we're a house that only watches these things. She's really watched a little bit of everything. Like she likes Bugs Bunny, but she doesn't go to Bugs Bunny in the same way.
No.
Mickey, Minnie, all of them.
Remember, she's still just 2.5.
Oh yeah, she's 2.5. She's not going to get the humor. I think that Looney Tunes, because of its humor, works better for kids who are a little older. Whereas sort of Disney is kind of warm and fuzzy.
Yeah. She's watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, which was done early aughts.
Something like that. It's like 20. Some of them are 20 years old. Yeah.
And it's for preschoolers. It's it's specifically aimed. So the storytelling is very clear cut, very simple, and very easy for her to relate to.
And a lot of prompts.
Yeah.
You know, 5+5, things like that. So yeah, it works. You should interview Nathan Lane and James Earl Jones for your podcast. Believe me, we would.
With me.
James Earl Jones cannot hear very well anymore, so that would be a tough one unless you could get him in person.
Mm-hmm.
And Nathan Lane just doesn't do that many interviews, but he is one of our favorite. I think he's one of the funniest human beings ever. I think he's one of the funniest people ever. And something that my mom has always said is that she's always felt that he's a sad clown. He has a lot of sadness in his life, and he's never been the happiest person, but he's finally seems to be doing better, which brings us a great amount of joy, because when you love someone and they make you laugh, you want them to feel that, you want them to feel how much you love them.
Yeah. I admired him tremendously because he would go on David Letterman's show and never show up without preparing material.
Yeah.
He wouldn't just go on and, just shoot the breeze.
No.
He came
ready
with stuff.
Yeah.
With really hilarious stream of consciousness thoughts or one-liners.
Yeah.
And we just saw him in person get an award at the Lifetime Award at the CCA, the Critics' Choice Association, LGBTQ plus event. And he was the final award of the evening. And he was introduced by another very funny man, Sean Hayes, who gave a hilarious speech and a sincere but hilarious introduction to Nathan Lane, who then killed, to use the comedy vernacular.
Yeah.
He's great. And he was serious too.
Yeah.
When it,
well, no, but that's what makes it work, is that they're hilariously funny, but they're genuine, and that's what makes the difference.
Yep.
If you didn't have the other piece, it wouldn't work. You wouldn't connect the way that you want to connect. I've been reading Michael Westmore's book. It was great seeing his Eddie Munster makeup stories. Yeah. Well, as I say, the thing with the Westmores in general is they have such a fascinating history, truly unlike anyone else's, just because of what they were all doing. And then the fact that as the different siblings and their kids started to work, where they went, what they did, who they worked with, to be the person who was creating all of the Star Trek looks, whether you're someone who loves Star Trek or not, everybody knows those characters to a certain degree.
Well,
visually speaking,
he started with Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
And then went on to win 9 Emmy Awards.
Yeah.
For creating various creatures and villains and such.
Yeah.
And apparently was given a lot of latitude to invent them.
Yeah.
And use his techniques.
Yeah. Oh man. I've heard Steve Martin does that too. Shows up for talk show appearances with bits in his mind. I'm sure he does. Well, again, there are a handful of people who are just so genuinely, naturally funny, like just genuinely funny. Steve Martin and Martin Short are two of the funniest people in the world. They are so naturally funny, but then they also really know
off each other
how to play. Well. They play an audience. They just, watching them, you understand why they work together so much, because it's so clear that they are having an absolute blast.
Yep.
And as you get older and as your career moves, you really want to enjoy yourself, Yes, Kevin Leonard, are you fans of Martin Short's Jiminy Glick character?
I've been interviewed twice.
2 times he's been interviewed by Jiminy Glick.
When Martin Short had a daily talk show, / variety show.
Yep.
And this was back in 1842.
It was a good year.
I don't remember. That would have been the late 80s, early 90s?
No, later than that.
Later?
No, yeah, 90s.
Well into the 90s?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was an interviewee, and it was a wild experience.
It's hysterical is what it is. He hits you a lot with a rolled up script. He hits.
But I don't think they were happy with me because I didn't
break.
Yeah.
Well, this is okay. So my dad is a really good straight man. And you have been straight man to a number of people.
Yeah.
You really can hold your own.
Mm-hmm.
You're really good at not breaking. And that's what makes it so much funnier, is that people can say absolutely ridiculous things to you and you just sort of sit and go, and you just take it. It's funny as hell. Yes, of course. We've met Jacqueline Stewart many times now. She is a very nice woman and she's really interesting. And fun. She's fun to be around. Is a nice lady. Her son, I think she has 2.
Noble. His name is Noble.
Yeah, Noble. He is a huge fan of my dad's, and he loves animation and stuff like that. So they all had lunch together when he was in town, because this is his passion. So she's obviously, it's intergenerational to love all of this stuff. Yes, Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon are another pair that just, why would you not work together when you're this good together?
Yeah.
Why break?
Although that last film they made together, the sequel to The Odd Couple.
Yeah.
Neil Simon wrote. Neil Simon, king of Broadway comedy.
Yeah.
It was, let's just call it unfortunate.
It happens.
Not everybody, it's a home run every time at bat.
It happens. Not everything can work. And there too, that's something I've always
and Jack Lemmon said to me, he said actually to me, it was the funniest script he'd read since Some Like It Hot. And I don't know. I mean, he was promoting the movie. They hadn't opened yet. They were still shooting it.
Yeah.
But wow, really? not a good film.
An interesting question from Nick is, what are you looking forward to at Comic-Con this year? We are a funny bunch for Comic-Con because we don't tend to go to pretty much anything. Reason being, none of us want to wait online. It's especially because now we've got Daisy, and that adds another layer to the chaos. We tend to just sort of go and enjoy ourselves.
We enjoy walking the floor.
We like to walk the floor. We like to meet people. That's really what I enjoy most. A lot of people come up to my dad for selfies, and I really love that. We just like to walk. We like to walk and see everybody and see what people are interested in. Visit our friends. If some of our friends will have booths, we like to visit our friends at their booths. We love to see the art. So that tends to be really what we do. We don't really go to panels. We always have our panel, which is the same time it was last year. It's on a Friday at 4:00, and that's a blast. And that's You're Wrong, Leonard Maltin, which I enjoy immensely.
And if you're there, please come.
Yeah, please come. It's a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun. And I think the best compliment that I get almost every year is that the people who run the various rooms will tell me that they had a good time. And I feel like if you have to sit there all weekend and you tell me that we've made you laugh, it's a good day. My dad is trying to get open the piece he has for show and tell and struggling. Can I help you?
Yes.
Okay.
I just hold it flat.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand what you're concerned about. 1 second. Hang on. Let go, Daddy.
Yeah.
Let go for a second. Okay. Where are you thinking? Okay, it's there. Let go. Let go, Daddy. There you go. You just didn't have it all the way off.
Okay. Let me hold it flat on my lap.
Okay.
So you say you want to see more coins and tokens and medallions?
What's that? You want more coins? Well, are you in luck? Is Blade Runner the most popular You're Wrong, Leonard Maltin entry? It's not, only because people now, we always make a comment ahead that if you're just here for Blade Runner, go away. No, people do mention it, but there's a whole bunch. Sometimes it's as simple as, why didn't you like this more? Other times it's full on, how could you like this movie? It was terrible. You never know. And it's just a good time. What about the HB panel that Mark and Greg are doing?
Oh, well, I wrote the foreword for Greg's new book about the music of Hanna-Barbera. And I felt qualified to because I was 7 years old when Huckleberry Hound made its debut. That was their first really successful show. This is not working because it's okay.
It's stuck. You want me to try?
Yeah. It says on the rear side, it says Souvenir King of Kings, Grauman's Chinese Theater. Take my word for it.
You're gonna have to soak that off.
Yeah.
That's not coming off.
Yeah.
That's been there for years.
Yeah.
On this side, it's got this Grecian face. And on the back where it's sticky, it says Souvenir King of Kings, Grauman's Chinese Theater.
1927.
Like that, honey? That's great.
Forgive me for the gunk on it. I'm guessing that's how you stuck it to stay in place.
Well, that's how someone stuck it.
Someone stuck it to
I
stay
wouldn't
in
have done
place.
that. But
okay.
Hey. But hey.
This one also has sticky stuff on it. That's exciting for
Show
us.
the unsticky head.
1 second. It's good luck for you. Gold Diggers 1935. Let's see.
Mommy,
These all have stick them on.
Mom, I'm not saying. I'm smiling. I'm smiling at my child. Leave me alone.
This is so interesting. And this is for Erich von Stroheim's Greed, the legendary 1925.
Erich von Stroheim's Greed, a Metro-Goldwyn picture.
Metro-Goldwyn.
Not Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer.
Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Louis D hadn't finalized that deal yet.
Honey.
Did you ever meet Joan Blondell?
Yes. On one of my first, I think on my second trip to Hollywood or to Los Angeles, she was doing a guest appearance on a short-lived television show called Here Come the Brides And I think it was shooting at Warner Brothers. And a friend of a friend of a friend, during her lunch break, they gave her an extended lunch break, and we went to lunch together with the publicist. And I interviewed her and published it in Film Fan Monthly.
I've heard of that.
And I republished it in one of my anthologies. She was very nice. She was very straightforward. No rose-colored nostalgia. She said, I asked about Busby Berkeley. She said he was a tough taskmaster, which she respected.
I like this. This says Chinese Theater Hollywood, and it's Grauman's, and it's really detailed.
What you doing? What you got there, baby? Okay. Let me see it.
Which is so close to get the things off. This is nice. Oh, this is a pin.
Oh, it's the ears.
This is a pin. Does it move? It looks like it should.
Is it upstairs?
What is this for?
Is that
Radio Orphan Annie.
Oh, it's an Orphan Annie decoder.
It is an Orphan Annie decoder. Why don't you have this as a pin?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't you wear this as a pin? This is awesome.
That's a word you don't use very often, so I'm impressed.
Well, I genuinely mean it. We have an issue with people using words wrong. Thank you, Daisy. Awesome is meant, you're in awe. Awesome means you are in awe. The Grand Canyon is awesome. You know, fireworks at night, beautiful fireworks. That's awesome. A Coke is not awesome. Yeah, pizza's not awesome. Maybe it is. Maybe if you've had the best one you've ever had in your life, maybe. But really, no. This is awesome. This is really cool. I say.
Here's a pin for the movie High, Wide, and Handsome, which was...
That's a name.
Yeah, it was directed by the great Ruben Mamoulian at Paramount 1937.
Mamoulian Party, 1937, High, Wide, and Handsome. Does the decoder have an Ovaltine secret message? Well,
probably.
Oh, it does say something on the back. Yeah.
You drink Ovaltine.
Yeah, right.
That's from the radio. The comic strip by Harold Gray inspired a daily radio serial, SCRIAL, serial, for young listeners, and which was very fondly remembered. There's several places where, and it had a great theme song. I have the sheet music. Who's the little chatterbox? The one with curly auburn locks. Who could it be? It's little Orphan Annie.
No, honey,
this is nice. Nat Holt Pictures.
Yeah.
And Company. This one's really faded.
He produced westerns.
The Great Missouri Raid, Warpath, Flaming Feather, Silver City, Paramount Pictures, the Denver and Rio Grande Hurricane Wounds. This is one.
That's a really disappointing movie, and it was shot in Technicolor, and it's got all the production value you want. It's a B movie screenplay treated like an A movie. Yeah. This is Robert Taylor. Anyway.
1939, Robert Taylor.
Coins, tokens, medals. This is the end of the coins, tokens, medals segment for all time. But here, for a good time, go to RKO Theaters. I'll leave you with that thought. But Leonard, they aren't anymore RKO Theaters.
January Good Times Jubilee. It says. One second.
And here's Tom Mix. We'll close with Tom Mix.
Tony Anselmo says, how about Betty Davis? Any anecdotes meeting her? I love hearing Alice and Daisy in the background. They're your Ed McMahon. Truly. Truly. Daisy's got about 87 toys on the floor right now. My mom's sitting on the couch.
Toward the end of her life, Betty Davis agreed to appear in a movie directed by the late Larry Cohen, who made odd and interesting movies. And she agreed to be in a movie and worked 1 week and then left. And the stories immediately
No, Days.
varied about why she left. And did she leave of her own
Just
volition?
get it closed.
Mommy,
Get it
I want
quickly,
these
quickly.
toys.
Close. These are not toys, though, baby. These are Grandpa's toys. Remember?
She says everything is mine.
That's right.
So-
Go on.
We got a call at Entertainment Tonight from her assistant
No, baby.
saying she wanted to come on the show
Here,
to set the record straight.
Okay, I got it.
That what had happened. She needs to go to New York for, I think,
One second.
for oral surgery, as I recall. So this was like a command performance, and
Careful.
we awaited her arrival on our stage, and in due course and on time, of course, in walked this frail, this petite and quite fragile-looking woman with an iron backbone.
Hmm.
And she sat down, and we had a very purposeful conversation. She was there to talk about, this particular movie and what went wrong and why she left. And I asked her a few peripheral questions about other films, but it was not a career interview.
Mm-hmm.
But she apparently was pleased with the result and the feedback that she got. And we got an enormous Christmas wreath delivered to our home
Yep.
shortly thereafter from Betty Davis. We kept it for a long, long time, probably past its expiration date.
How do you get rid of it, though? That doesn't happen. Do you have the famous Tom Mix pocket knife?
No.
He has to be missing something.
Yeah.
Yes, we should have Mario Cantone on the podcast.
Yeah.
Do something about that.
Okay.
Do something about that. No, you guys get along. You guys get on well. You like each
I've only
other.
met him barely.
They love each other. It's great.
Very close. Very close.
I'm sure we get along.
Yeah, I'm sure we get along. We find out later. Hate each other. The Betty Davis stuff is still kind of wild to me. The things that so you have some things that are signed for
Yeah.
different people, and I think for me, it's what she signed.
Yeah.
With the photo, that it's sort of like Betty Davis. You really do just kind of go, how is that real? Betty Davis?
It was unreal.
Yeah.
It was unreal
Yeah.
talking to her. I asked her about, she's in a film called X-Lady, EX-Lady.
Yeah.
In very early on, 1933 or so in her career. And she talked about how they put her in a diaphanous dress and tried to backlight it so you would see,
Yeah.
her figure.
Diaphanous.
Yes, good word.
It's a great word.
And how she said, no, I'm not doing that. And
Respect.
she just sort of told that as an indicator
Mm-hmm.
of how she always was looking out for herself
Yeah.
and knew that she had
If
to.
you don't, who will?
Yeah. Knew
You
that
know?
she had to do that. She had to be
Yeah.
her own advocate. And
It's
was
vital.
still doing that
Yeah.
decades later.
Man, oh man, it's not for the faint of heart,
No.
is it?
And as she's often quoted, and my wife and I think of it a lot, old age is not for sissies. Getting old is not for sissies.
Yeah,
And she got that right.
it's true. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us. We are next week is still. Hang on, I can't math. Give me a second. We will still be here next week. The following week will be at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
We will be here next week. So we'll see you next week. Everybody, please take care of yourselves. Be careful if you're in the heat. Be careful if you're dealing with crazy people, because it's bad right now. Hydrate.
Just hydrate, stay well, stay cool, and be kind.